Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a special show today, taking a look at Biomutant, 9 brand new minutes of gameplay, as shown off exclusively at first by IGN as part of their Summer of Gaming, but the full video has now been put up on the THQ Nordic YouTube channel. So I'm going to talk about it, why I'm so hyped and excited about this game. I am normally a survival and news early access games kind of channel, but this game is definitely going to draw me out of that bubble because I am super excited. I've been following its progress since 2017 when it first got announced, so let me guide you through everything I know about Biomutant and also why they've been so secretive still about a release date. So yeah, incredibly, announced first way back at one of the PAX events in 2017. It's taken nearly 3 years and we still have no closer to a release date. Now this isn't that unusual. At the time, the studio making it 101 Experimental were pretty much just about to get bought out by THQ Nordic. That seemed to be the situation that was going on. I'm not too sure whether or not they'd done this with plans with Biomutant beforehand or whether or not it happened just when they started showing off Biomutant. But either way, THQ have been rising and rising last few years, from the embers of them going out of business to now being pretty much a smaller, mid-sized powerhouse gobbling up lots of games. They've got big companies, they've got big development studios, they technically own part of Satisfactory, and they also own a lot of other games that you might have not really thought about. So Biomutant, what happened? It was meant to come out in 2018 possibly, then we heard 2019 and then 2020. In fact, April was when I last saw a proper release date given for this, but just beforehand they announced they weren't going to be releasing it this April and they didn't give any further communication, and the game is just absolutely amazing. As I said, I'm a survival channel normally, but this is really just drawing me in. This came out on the same day that the Cyberpunk 2077 or day after came out, and I think it's going to probably be overshadowed a little bit, but it's pretty stunning. I'm loving the look and the feel of this game. So if you've never seen it, you can create and customize your own special mutant. It can be made out of a variety of different creatures. There's going to be some presets and then you can customize it, change it up a bit, just really go to town making the mad mutant creature of your dreams. I of course will be trying to go for a rat bag. I really do hope there are some rats in the game, and yeah, can't wait for this. Imagine Kung Fu Panda, but with a little bit more serious take on it in terms of weapons and story and RPG elements, and then add some combat from something like Devil May Cry, and you might have just about explained what Biomutant is. So I'm going to do a bit of reacting now, kind of, and just going through the trailer as what they've shown. And so obviously it's got some good story beats into it. Now from what the developer interview that went alongside the initial release was, they're talking about the freedom. Like after the initial parts of the story and explaining how to play the game, like everything under the sun, you will be free to kind of just go and do as much things as you want, explore different areas and regions. There isn't really going to be a limit on what you can do in this huge open world game. Now from the combat you can see why it gets maybe compared to other games like Devil May Cry, being able to use combos and pick up enemies and put them into the sky while you carry on wailing on them, or maybe sending a giant rocket towards them as well. It seems to be you've got these areas where you're going to face bosses, medium-sized creatures, and it's going to be like part of an outpost. I know Ubisoft fans will not be liking that, but you know, for an independent game, an open world game, it does kind of fit in. Go and explore an area, weaken the region by taking out outposts, and then go for one of the big bosses. Now there is a much bigger underlying story into it. Obviously it is the future, and the future relies on 4 big huge roots or pillars that are supporting the world. It has these pillars all guarded by a specific boss, and so we're going to face 4 giant creatures like this Flight Pluff Jet Splurt, if you want to name it that, and it looks great. The combo, the movement looks pretty good, got slow motion going on, and like the range and combat that you can have. If you want it to be shooter, you can do. If you want to get a bit more close up and personal with nunchuckers or a big hammer like here, you also can do. And again, I'm really showing the depth of some of the creatures. Now these aren't all just the bosses, the big ones anyway. These are kind of mid-tier creatures. It looks phenomenal. I know this is going to be on a souped up PC, but this is going to be coming to the Xbox and PlayStation. And that kind of brings me on to why we haven't seen a release date yet. I think it's going to be an Epic Games exclusive. They probably haven't revealed that right now because there still probably will be a bit of a backlash, as it did originally, I do believe, got announced as a Steam exclusive, or Steam game anyway. Now that may be a negative for some, I don't give a monkeys. I'm not paying any more money to launch Epic Games. I will download it, I don't care where I buy it as long as I've got the game that I want. And it looks crazy with all the customization you can also do to these weapons. You can pretty much make them into legendary items and weapons by finding parts from them, and you can see there's all different types that you can put on, and you've got just some madness going on. Look at this hand, a clockwork hand as your vehicle, or a big huge bubble that envelops and takes creatures with you like some mad Katamari game. It is crazy. The traversal elements in it, the role play in terms of going around exploring, and a little bit of parkour is pretty good. And you can see one of the big routes there, and as I said, that's going to play an important part of the story according to the interview that I did watch. Now there are NPCs in the game, looks like they're going to be helping you, giving you quests, obviously finding stuff for you to do, gabbins, you know the kind of thing. But just look at this, flying through the sky as well on a hang glider, meeting brand new people, even creepy honky dudes, and fighting big old creatures and coming up with ways to take them down. All got their own abilities, all got their own special attacks, and you're going to have to find a way to defeat them. I love it. I think this great game is going to be massive. Now, on any of the jargon that I've seen, trailers and stuff, they haven't announced anything for Nintendo Switch, but if you go through their tweet history, they've spoken about their love for Nintendo, so I wouldn't rule out seeing this on Nintendo, and that would parry with their publisher. THQ Nordic are about putting their games on as many platforms as possible. They really try and rake in that revenue by having it available, and they've ported so many other games onto other platforms as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do hear announcements one day that it will be coming to Nintendo Switch. But right now there isn't a release date, and the devs have been pretty bullish about it in the last few months, saying we will announce it when we're ready. It's not there yet, we're nearly there, and during the interview that they gave with IGN, they spoke a lot about the fact that it still needs a lot of Q&A. They've built this world and they kept adding bits to it, and they really improved it, and they decided that the lots of the Q&A just wasn't up to scratch and they needed more time to make it better. And I think that's probably a product of possibly a partnership with Epic Games. Being able to give THQ that extra bit of money and cash has probably meant that they can take that time. They're not worried about having to release it rushedly because they need the money, they need to recoup their costs. So as long as it means they've got a better product, then I'm all for them doing what they feel is best. Now they have shown off snippets of the game before. They've shown a little demo in the past, showing off against one boss fight, and they've done this various times over the years, and I think it gave a lot of hype, a lot of expectation, and so they've obviously made that decision to just make sure it is the best it can be, and I really hope it does pay off. It just looks incredible. I think this is going to be absolutely amazing. Just, it's one of them games that has got such variety in it. It looks so colourful, but also looks like it's more involved as well. The depth, the strength, the combat and stuff. Look at this mad creature. It looks like something out of sort of Japanese anime. There's so many of these varied types as well, and they're definitely, I'm starting to lose sight of which ones were the big bosses and which ones are just sort of medium tier bosses. But yeah, from the interview they spoke about 4 of them being huge, and you know, you've got pretty big creatures here. I'm guessing that's another one, but the combat, the varied style, the dodging, it just looks great. It looks fluid, the colours are popping. I really like the comic book style aesthetic as well. Like, things happen. They've tiled it back a little bit for the gameplay demo, but much early ones showed it off a lot more, that you would get these big comic book words popping up like kablam and pow. Maybe they decided that was a bit off-putting, or maybe they've just turned it off for this demo. Even if that's an option for you to decide if you want it for yourself, that would be great as well. But it's just looking great. There's slow down in it and having that time to work out some maybe combos, and I really do hope they go deep with it. For people that really love that, maybe they'll make it an easier option, or there'll be certain weapons that are just a bit easier to use. But definitely for people that want that bit of hardness from it, something like a Devil May Cry, learning combinations, I think that could be really good for it too. Anyway, we're winding down towards the end of the demo now. Hopefully you've not been too annoyed by me yapping away, but I do just want to carry on showing more info about this. I'm going to start covering this game massively. If I get any sort of news about it, I'm going to start delivering it to you. I love a look at this. I used to love Mini Ninjas. That was a great game back in the day on Xbox 360. I love ninja games like this, and I love open world games. that have a little something different about it. And I love the idea of mutated creatures. This is definitely a boss. That is definitely a big one. And so is this one. I take it all back. Some of the creatures I was assuming were the bosses earlier. No, these are the bosses. Look, you can ride creatures in it as well. It's looking amazing. You are going to be able to customize your creature and it will impact the gameplay. You'll decide if you want a combination of a gas mask and a flyer or whatever it is you want by finding items. I'm really excited about Biomutant. I hope you can tell I'm going to be covering it massively from now until the release. Until next time, Ratbags, I will see you guys later.